Welcome to today's video. I got new old stock of a Supermicro LGA 771 Supermicro server board, and if you wonder why in God's name I got this in 2019, let me explain. As you've seen previously, this is our Mac Pro 2.1, the basically also 2 but first generation, just slightly upgraded anyway, and this actually is our G5. Oops. But anyway, imagine this is a Mac Pro that I'm not too lazy to get from the other corner of the office. It came with an Xeon 5365, 3 GHz quad-core processors, in total of 8 cores. And after a couple of years, we actually used this as a Linux server. We wanted to upgrade the CPUs and we got them for cheap a couple of years later for only $100. Mind you, the list price of the original CPUs, the 5365, was $1,350 from Intel in 1,000 quantities or so. So quite an expensive CPU. And this CPU, the theoretically possible upgrade, is a 5470 with not only more gigahertz, 3.33 gigahertz, also more cache, 2 times 6 megabyte instead of previously 2 times 4 megabyte, and even less wattage. So the earlier Xeon consumed 150 watts TDP or so, and this is rated 120. And after a couple of years used on eBay, this would have even been an amazing upgrade from used old server parts for only $100 each. Totally amazing. And on a PC you would usually just swap it in with maybe a BIOS upgrade, but of course on the Mac Pro you wouldn't never get some. So the situation was unclear. Some people said it should work and some maybe even wrote it works or something. So I got them used in 2014, again 5 years ago or something of that sort, and of course it didn't work. I had them in stock on the shelves here for 5 years now, and I couldn't even test if they work because we, as you know, had not so much PC parts. So I had them, didn't even know if they work. They certainly didn't in the Mac Pro. So finally it's time to test them here for the YouTube channel and have a spare system for testing and such. So this is why we got this new old stock Supermicro server building block solutions thing, and let's see if with some spare office parts this works. Not really sure because it says registered DRAM, and I'm not entirely sure if this DDR2, probably from the G5, works because it probably isn't registered. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, then maybe I need to get some cheap memory as well, but let's see what happens. 2 gig upgrade here. Again, not entirely sure. We will see. Also, this explains why I'm back to PCs. This is of course not amazing that back in the day you spent nearly around $7,000 or so for the highest tier Mac Pro, and then a couple of years later you couldn't even upgrade the CPU if you needed a little bit more processing power. And this is when I started already over a decade ago that I'm not a fan of this anymore. If you wonder what is in a server building block box, that is that. Also of course many more ports. Fun fact, also the first ever dual socket PC board I ever purchased back in the day. Too much of a cheapskate, a student and such. As you see, should be relatively new old stock. Also you see you get so much more flexibility here on the PC side with 6 serial ATA and 8 serial attached SCSI ports. Yeah, so my recommendation, not only am I not going a Mac anymore, PC also much more flexible, mix and matching everything what you have at hand. So as I said, memory wise, not sure if that will work. Which is the first one? Need to put them in pairs. The point of this video, not only testing our new old stock of Xeon CPUs, also pointing out how much more flexible PCs are, and that you can build this for cheap if you want massive storage. Nowadays just get this used or new old stock from eBay for dirt cheap. I think that should be the first one. Let's hope that fits and also maybe works. At least it fits. I would always hope that if it fits mechanically also does work, but Again, these are most likely not registered, I guess. So we can only hope that the Intel chipset there is flexible enough to work. Of course, if you populate all of them, it definitely needs registered. I only hope it's flexible enough to work with just those two if it's not too much load there on the bus. Then of course here the CPUs. And I don't even have a cooler, so either we test it briefly or I just put there some old AMD Athlon cooler onto there for some quick test or something. I would hope the mounting pressure is enough though. And again, if you are one of those who says this is too complicated to do yourself, in my opinion this is totally easy. Also again, I hope the mounting pressure is enough there for all the pins to have contact without the high pressure heatsink pressing onto there. And again, don't see any reason why Apple shouldn't allow that for their customers, but your mileage probably might vary. And for the test power here, the highest power, as we are just getting back to PCs, 450 watts here from the Mini ITX SFX fully modular AMD Ryzen build. That hopefully should be enough for a quick test. But again, we are just restocking after a decade on too much Apple stuff. So much more flexible here. Basically everyone can do this, in my opinion. One moment it was in an AMD Ryzen Mini ITX, the next moment on an full-sized ATX server board. No problems there, just a little bit extra power. Probably need to find that cable maybe in the basement, or is it that? Or maybe it is actually this if we are lucky. I'm actually quite a fan of this modular power supply stuff. Which one would that be? Hopefully ATX something, whatever. Does this fit there mechanically? Goes here. So yeah, quite little test setup there. Let's plug it in. Maybe I find some small heat sinks just for the little bit cooling of it. Yeah, so found some AMD coolers. This is even unused because it was too large for that Mini ITX build. And of course you don't want to run this for a very long time like this, but just for power on should be enough. Of course a little bit dangerous not to accidentally move it too much, but for a quick test we should probably be fine. Famous last words before it blows up in Linus' face. Also, always check clearing, not that you short something in these amazing test setups. Again, if I run this longer, a little bit thermal paste also helps, but just that it doesn't overheat here. In a couple of minutes also this most likely should have some thermal protection stuff, so I guess theoretically this should throttle down if it overheats. As so often, graphic wise it has a totally esoteric graphic chipset, XGI, actually by the way a cool name, certainly reminds a little bit of SGI, good old SES or whatnot graphic stuff, super slow, Volari Z9 or something. Doesn't really matter much, we just need some post picture. It probably should be fine like this, if the memory even works. So power button is conveniently the first there, to short circuit that with the famous screwdriver method. So let's plug it in and hope it doesn't blow up or whatnot. Also not the most convenient that this XFS power supply doesn't have a power switch, so one green light, so far so good. Let's see what happens here memory test wise. Something is up, maybe memory, huh? So another day, hopefully more luck with registered ECC memory here from eBay for only €6 a piece with free shipping. Let's hope that works better and was the issue, even with a nice box. So yeah, also stacking up our test equipment here for the future. Always good to have some ECC registered stuff in stock. Now this is a little bit low power supply here for this test, but I packed the other one already away, don't really want to disassemble that again. And I actually ordered a new one from Amazon just to have here a little bit more test stuff, but somehow Amazon also started to deliver slower if you don't have this Prime, so it's always good when it's coded though. Yeah, that for sure doesn't fit there, so yeah, trial and error here on the power connector, always the best thing to start a build with. Again, yeah, multi-underpowered, by the way, this probably, this is here, because it even has here only one, let's see, this probably fits into that. Yeah, the problem is, don't try this at home, actually, this fun fact, this would fit there. Should we try that? Actually, wait a second, they really changed here. Okay, no, you don't want to try that. This has PCIe versus fits in there, but it has this super dangerous. What were those thinking? Anyway, I sure hope it would be. Probably should Google that, huh? Yeah, don't try this at home, a little bit underpowered. I only want to see if this comes up here. Certainly don't want to run this a longer time or with higher load or something of that sort. I only want to see if the CPUs actually work after here on the shelves. Actually, I tested from the other day that this indeed gets quite warm even when powered up and beeping. Yeah, never a bad idea to measure this, so these pins are connected to that ground. Maybe we double check with that ground just to be on the super safe side. Yeah. So, but again, don't try this at home, especially not with this 300 and a little watt power supply. But I hope it doesn't explode in our face, but if it does, we have at least something for YouTube. And yeah, so this half plug fits in there to no one's surprise. And the PCIe plug also fits in there, I think, but yeah, I can double check this again. This also fits in there here. So this is super dangerous that the PCIe plug fits in there with 12 volt and ground reverse, so that is super dangerous. You want to watch out there. All the inside information only live on this YouTube channel. Again, of course not ideal, and if this boots and I leave this running for 10 minutes, then of course I will put there some thermal paste under the second one. Of course the other one also only has decade or 2 decade old AMD Athlon thermal paste, but yeah, certainly a little cooling better than no cooling. Don't try this at home. Obviously on this amazing XGI set 9 or what this was. This beeping also doesn't sound amazing. Whatever that is though. I said don't try this at home, right? But maybe that is a warning of no power on the... Yeah, exactly what I wanted to avoid, to get this out of the mini ITX, but here we are. Again, not that we would recommend Amazon the most. It's also a bit annoying that now they intentionally, apparently, maybe deliver slower to non-Prime users. At least you know what not to repeat at home. And we get some more test data. Maybe it has sensing for having both lanes connected, or it just had too little voltage, or it's something with Xeon processors. But yeah, don't buy something from eBay for Mac upgrades that are untested, or anyway you don't have stuff at hand to actually check that this used Xeon CPUs work. Yeah, also this doesn't have power switch. Hey, one beep. That is better than before. Maybe it has then two 12-volt lines power sensing as well as previously this was the memory, because right now it's not beeping like crazy. But we do not yet have post. At least on the VGA. Wait a second, this is not VGA. Stupid display. Hey. We have something though. And some warning beep. Whatever that was. Maybe heat? Medium warm? Medium warm. But at least it's posting, so that is progress. Whatever the beeping is. Could still be temperature. Maybe we try this again. But yeah, also stupid displays. The Dell that I got for free from a customer has no input selection, or at least automatic. The NEC that I have would probably switch automatically. So yeah, but the menu is anyway, as seen with previous videos, the menu is annoying from the Dell. Slightly wonder what this beeping was. Let's see what post stuff we get. But one lesson learned, even a software idiot cannot ruin this here too quickly. Really wonder why it's beeping though. Interesting. Switched off again. Maybe this is really overheating. Yeah, it's getting pretty warmish. Maybe time for some. So the second tier is not as hot. Well, the heatsink gets some. Yeah, we'd probably only find out. I mean, it's trying to start. Let's get some thermal paste. I hope I find extremely old crap. Not that I need to use latest and greatest stuff for that. The applications there didn't look the most outstanding. Like this, doesn't really matter too much. Just let's see a little bit of cooling. What does it give us? Because certainly it initially ran a little bit longer. It could be an indication that initially it was cooler and now it is too warm and powers off. Let's see if that theory is correct. Also, lots of beeping memory and super constant beeping power, maybe something of that sort. And yeah, 70 something watt by 2. No surprise there. Could also really post though. Yeah. So before we have not seen the screen, so certainly that is cooling. Yeah, it runs longer now, so long it has not run before. So just it's a little bit annoying without a power switch on this. So there you have it. Old Athlon K7 something coolers can cool Xeon at least for a couple of minutes. Let's see if we can test boot something and get into the BIOS and fun stuff like that. Just the normal amazingness of PC BIOSes a little bit. Hello, where is our VGA output? There is something. Somehow I don't see much of the BIOS though, for whatever reason. Don't really want this controller LSI Megabyte bring up though. But at least we are up and running now. Have not yet powered off. So now the BIOS is not the most verbose. So Phoenix BIOS, just about the usual stuff. Clock still running. I would say disable virtualization by default on the server board. Is it good? Prefetcher. No events, although we booted it without quite some memory and whatnot, but whatever. To press delete, yes, so this is stuff from the VIA just yesterday, so far so good. And we have not yet powered down, so need matching fans and heat sinks, my ass, but of course don't run it permanently though, obviously for so many reasons. No surprise there, I guess. Yeah, curious how much faster this is. It should be a little bit faster than the Mac Pro then. But yeah, I mean, normally I would not recommend to buy this in this day and age, just because power hungry and everything. But if you have already some parts, like I had this even dual Xeon, and apparently they even work. At least you see the text scrolling is instant, not like this frame buffer rubbish. The 2x Xeon, 3.33 GHz. Yeah, would have been a nice upgrade to the Mac Pro if Apple would have allowed us. Let's quickly run the benchmark. See if it survives that. Yeah, so there we have it. We had two precious Xeons here, 5 years in stock, that even work. Could go to eBay, give that a thumbs up. But otherwise, yeah, why already a decade ago learned that spending nearly 7,000 euro for a fancy Mac Pro, not the best investment, would not recommend this, anyone doing this even in this day and age with a even more overpriced cheese grater. And yeah, this board only costed 100 euro plus memory, so 112 euro to get a system that maybe I sometimes use for testing. Always good to have some ECC, Xeon stuff in stock. Let's see what the benchmark result will be. Certainly faster than the VIA from yesterday. Hope you learned something, like ground plane measuring there and pin out and all the other mix and matching AMD Athlon fans and heatsinks and stuff to come. To probably no one's surprise, this AMD socket A or so Athlon heatsink here gets plenty hot, even with this fan running like this. Can barely touch this, so yeah, 75 or whatever. What that was, right? What were my notes saying? 220 watt even. Was it each 120 watts? Oops. Yeah, there you have it. But it's still up and running, and the temperatures are not too bad. I mean, 50 something, 70. Yeah, one of them. I wonder actually, this one is not getting as hot. Actually, by the way, they're probably both. I know, I think the other is Phenom. It's probably AM2 or something. But yeah, so this one actually, this probably could sustain 95 watts. That's not getting as warm. Just wondering which is the first and second socket. Would be really interesting to know. Can also conclude how much better this heat pipe integrated heatsink is over this previous good old aluminium block there, as well as how much more performance you get nowadays from much less power on a more compact AMD Ryzen over this dual socket Xeon from a decade ago. So yeah, just if you wondered.